Every night, before the curtain of sleep falls, your mind performs one final act. It holds on to a thought, your last conscious thought. And that single thought becomes the seed your subconscious nurtures while you rest. Most people never realize how powerful that seed truly is. The great tragedy of life is that millions go to bed carrying the weight of their failures, regrets, and fears. They replay scenes of what went wrong, what could have been, and what they dread may happen tomorrow. They feed their subconscious with the very emotions they wish to escape: worry, doubt, anger, confusion. And then they wonder why they wake up tired, uninspired, and lost. But the top 1%, the ones who quietly build empires while others sleep, understand a deeper truth. The last thought before sleep is the first architect of your tomorrow. Your subconscious mind is a builder, tireless, obedient, and exact. It does not rest when you do. It never questions what you feed it. It simply takes instruction and begins its work. If you end your day in fear, it builds more fear. If you end it with faith, it builds opportunity. If you end it with vision, it builds the path toward that vision. This is the law of the last thought. Let me tell you this: you are not a victim of your days. You are the designer of your nights. The world teaches us how to hustle, how to grind, how to work harder. But it never teaches us how to think before sleep. Yet that is the very hour when power is born. The successful few understand that sleep is not the end of the day. It is the beginning of creation. They don't collapse into bed with exhaustion and chaos. They approach sleep like a sacred ritual, a moment of connection with their deeper mind. Before closing their eyes, they deliberately choose what to think. They close their eyes, breathe deeply, and replay the image of the life they desire, not as a wish, but as a truth already written. They see the goal accomplished. They feel the satisfaction of success. They walk through the mental picture of their dream, touching it with their imagination until it feels real. And then they sleep, not in despair, but in command. Their subconscious goes to work through the night, rearranging ideas, connecting possibilities, and drawing unseen forces to fulfill that vision. When morning comes, they awaken not by alarm, but by alignment. Their actions naturally flow toward what their mind has already accepted as real. You see, thought is not just energy, it's a magnet. And your final thought before sleep determines what you attract when you rise. That's why the 1% never end their day with gossip, noise, or negativity. They guard that final moment as fiercely as a king guards his throne. Tonight, I invite you to try it. Before you fall asleep, clear your mind. Turn off the noise of the world. Close your eyes and hold one thought, one pure, powerful image of the life you're creating. Don't think of how it will happen. Think of how it will feel when it does. Let that emotion sink into your heart. Peace, joy, pride, gratitude. Fall asleep in that feeling. Do this every night, and your days will begin to shift. You will start to notice opportunities aligning, energy returning, clarity strengthening. Your nights will become your allies, and your mornings will greet you with purpose. Because the truth is simple: your future is written not in your dreams, but in your last thought before them. Master the law of the last thought, and you will no longer chase success in the daylight. It will come to you in the dark while you rest, because your mind will already be building it. Every night, the average person surrenders to sleep with no direction, their minds scattered, their thoughts random, their emotions unguarded. But the few who rise above mediocrity never let their minds drift aimlessly into the dark. They command their minds. They give it orders. They instruct it with precision, like a general sending his troops to battle while he rests. This is the second secret of the 1%, the mental command ritual. It is the practice of giving your subconscious mind a clear, powerful instruction before you fall asleep. Because when you sleep, your conscious mind steps aside, but your subconscious, that silent worker within, begins its shift. It organizes, calculates, and connects the threads of everything you've seen, heard, and experienced. It's like an unseen assistant laboring while you rest. The only question is, what task have you given it to perform? Most people give their minds no assignment at all. They let it wander into worries, regrets, or meaningless fantasies. But the successful, the top 1%, give their mind a definite order before surrendering to sleep. They say, "Show me the answer to this problem." They whisper, "Guide me toward the next step." They command, "Reveal the opportunity I'm missing." They instruct, "Bring clarity, creativity, and power to my plans." And the next morning, something extraordinary happens. They wake with insight. They wake with calm certainty. Sometimes the answer comes as a new idea. Sometimes it appears as an opportunity, a conversation, or a sudden moment of knowing. But it comes because the subconscious obeys the command it was given. You see, the mind is not just a machine for memory, it is an instrument of creation. The thoughts you impress upon it, especially before sleep, act as direct orders. The subconscious doesn't question, it doesn't doubt, it doesn't argue. It simply executes. If you command it to solve, it will find a solution. If you command it to create, it will open the doors of imagination. If you command it to attract, it will align your energy with what you desire. The problem is, most people command confusion. They go to bed thinking, "I don't know what to do. I'm so lost." Nothing ever works. And the subconscious listens faithfully, then builds more confusion, more loss, more frustration. The 1% do the opposite. They direct their mind with clarity and faith. They trust the invisible process that turns mental instructions into visible results. They understand that the conscious mind chooses the goal, but the subconscious mind builds the bridge. Here's how the ritual works before sleep. Sit quietly. Let your breathing slow. Then choose one question, one problem, or one goal that truly matters. Focus on it gently, not with worry, but with curiosity. And then, in clear, confident words, give your mind an order. Speak it as though talking to a trusted servant. While I sleep, find a solution. While I rest, organize my ideas. While I dream, prepare me to act with wisdom tomorrow. Then, let go. Don't strain, don't doubt, don't chase the answer. Sleep peacefully, knowing that your inner mind is working faithfully through the night. This is not imagination, it's a law of mental power. Every genius, every innovator, every leader who ever moved humanity forward practiced some form of this ritual, whether they realized it or not. When you awaken, take a few moments to reflect. Write down the first thoughts or ideas that come to mind. Often, the answer will arrive softly, like a whisper rather than a shout. But it will come. Over time, this nightly command becomes a partnership between your conscious creator and your subconscious builder. And once that partnership forms, you will never again face your challenges alone. Remember this truth. The night is not a time of emptiness. It's a time of instruction. The most powerful people in history didn't just go to sleep. They sent their minds to work. So tonight, don't collapse into rest like the 99%. Command your mind. Direct it. Trust it. And when you wake, walk with the quiet confidence of someone who knows. Their subconscious spent the night building the path to victory. There is a secret doorway to peace, success, and clarity that most people overlook, and it is called gratitude. Before the 1% drift into sleep, they don't think about what's missing. They don't rehearse the pain, the losses, or the chaos of the day. Instead, they turn inward and give thanks. They end the day in harmony, not hostility. They know that the energy you carry into sleep is the same energy that builds your morning, and gratitude is the key that unlocks that higher vibration. Gratitude is not a reaction, it's a choice. It is a deliberate decision to look beyond lack and focus on abundance. While the majority of people close their eyes with restless hearts, angry at what they couldn't control, frustrated by what went wrong, the few who understand life's deeper laws close their eyes in appreciation for what went right. Why is this so powerful? Because gratitude is the language of creation. It's a signal to your subconscious that says, I am content, I am capable, I am ready for more. When you express genuine gratitude, even in the smallest things, the breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, the lessons that shaped you, you shift your entire state of being. Your mind relaxes, your heart opens. Well, your subconscious begins to operate from a frequency of growth, not fear. The truth is, the mind cannot hold two opposing emotions at once. You cannot feel deep gratitude and deep anxiety at the same time. You cannot hold appreciation and resentment in the same breath. So when you choose gratitude, you automatically dissolve the poisons that drain your power: doubt, envy, worry, anger. That's why gratitude is not just spiritual. It's strategic. It resets the mind. It turns the noise of the day into harmony. It transforms exhaustion into restoration. The 1% understand this. They know that gratitude before sleep prepares the subconscious to create more of what you appreciate. If you sleep in peace, you rise in power. If you sleep in resentment, you wake in resistance. So, before you close your eyes tonight, pause. Breathe deeply. Then silently list everything you can be thankful for, not mechanically, but sincerely. Think of the people who stood by you, the lessons that taught you, the challenges that strengthened you. Feel the warmth of gratitude expanding in your chest like light filling a dark room. Then whisper to yourself, I am thankful for this day. I am thankful for my growth. I am thankful for the strength within me that carries me forward. Do this nightly, and you will begin to notice something extraordinary. Your mornings will feel lighter. Problems will seem smaller. You'll find opportunities where before you only saw obstacles, because gratitude doesn't just change your emotions. It changes your perception, and perception is the foundation of destiny. You see, when the mind is negative, it closes. It resists. It blocks creativity and intuition. But when the mind is grateful, it opens wide. It sees connections, solutions, and blessings that were always there, just hidden by your own attitude. Gratitude is the gateway through which abundance flows. It tells the universe that you are ready, not desperate, not fearful, but ready. Most people beg for more, not realizing that the act of begging announces lack. The wise give thanks for what they already have, and that vibration calls forth more of the same. So tonight, don't end your day with worry or complaint. End it with gratitude. Let it be your nightly ritual, your spiritual hygiene, your emotional reset. Because gratitude, when practiced before sleep, aligns your subconscious with abundance, and abundance cannot resist a grateful heart. Remember this truth. Success doesn't come to the person who needs more. It comes to the person who appreciates more. Gratitude is the gateway. Walk through it each night, and you will awaken each morning on the other side of limitation, in the land of possibility, peace, and power. Each night, before sleep takes them, the top 1% perform a quiet ritual that most people overlook. It requires no money, no tools, no special talent, only honesty. It's the practice of reflection and correction, while the majority close their eyes without review, carrying forward the same mistakes, the same patterns, the same blind spots. The few who rise in life pause before they rest. They ask themselves, what did I learn today? Where did I grow? What could I have done better? They treat every day as a classroom and every mistake as a teacher. They don't wait for the world to correct them, they correct themselves. Reflection is the mirror of the mind. Without it, you cannot see what's holding you back. The unexamined life repeats itself. The examined life evolves. Most people move in circles, living the same year over and over, because they never take 5 quiet minutes to understand themselves. But those who lead, create, and build, they reflect. They know that growth is not born from perfection, but from awareness. You see, reflection turns experience into wisdom. Every event, every success, every failure holds a message, but you only receive it if you stop long enough to listen. The night offers that sacred pause. When the noise of the world fades and the light dims, your mind is most open to truth. So the 1% use that moment. They don't judge themselves harshly, but they evaluate themselves honestly. They look at their day as though observing another person, detached, curious, and fair. They ask, did I live according to my principles today? Did I use my time wisely? Did I react out of fear or respond with wisdom? Did I move one step closer to my purpose? And when the answers reveal a shortcoming, they don't drown in guilt. They correct the course. They make a simple decision tomorrow, I will do better. That small daily correction is the reason their lives take exponential turns. They're not chasing perfection, they're practicing progress. Understand this truth: life rewards the self-aware. Reflection transforms mistakes into lessons and lessons into mastery. Every night you reflect, you reclaim power from your past. You stop being a victim of your habits and become a sculptor of your destiny. But correction, that's where transformation truly begins. Reflection shows you what's wrong, correction shows you what's next. It's not enough to know, you must adjust. The 1% correct quickly. When they see a weakness, they act. When they notice a pattern that drains their energy, they replace it. When they catch themselves thinking small, they stretch their vision. They don't wait for life to teach the same lesson twice. Think of the pilot who adjusts course during flight. A 1-degree correction, made consistently, ensures the destination is reached. But without that adjustment, even the most powerful engine ends up lost. Your mind works the same way. Reflection identifies the degree of deviation, and correction realigns your path. Before you sleep tonight, try it. Replay your day, not with regret, but with awareness. Ask yourself where you shined and where you stumbled. Forgive yourself for the stumbles and make a quiet promise. Tomorrow, I'll rise a little higher. Then give that command to your subconscious before you drift into rest, to help you wake wiser, calmer, and more aligned. You will be amazed at how life begins to shift when you make reflection and correction your nightly ritual. You'll wake lighter because you've released the emotional weight of the day. You'll walk straighter because your direction is clear. The 1% don't grow by chance, they grow by choice. And that choice happens in the silence before sleep, in those sacred minutes when they review, realign, and reset their course. So tonight, don't just end your day. Complete it. Reflect with honesty. Correct with courage. And when the morning light greets you, you'll rise not as who you were, but as who you are becoming. Every night, before the world fades into sleep, a few rare souls close their eyes, not to escape reality, but to create it. This is their secret, the nighttime vision practice. While most people end their day with noise, endless scrolling, shallow distraction, or the weight of unfinished worries, the few who rise above it all do something different. They turn inward. They enter that quiet space between wakefulness and dream, and they see the life they are building as if it already exists. They don't wish. They visualize. They don't hope. They command belief. They don't imagine someday. They imagine now. You see, the human mind is the greatest projector ever designed. It cannot tell the difference between what is vividly imagined and what is physically real. When you repeatedly visualize a dream with emotion, your subconscious accepts it as fact and begins to align every thought, action, and opportunity to match that inner picture. That's why the 1% don't just plan their goals. They live them in the mind first. They walk through the rooms of their dream home. They deliver that powerful speech before a silent audience in their imagination. They feel the joy of freedom, the strength of purpose, the peace of achievement, all before it ever happens. This practice is not fantasy. It is creation. Every great empire, every innovation, every life of meaning was first built in the imagination of someone who refused to stop seeing it. The night is the perfect time for this. Why? Because the conscious mind is tired, quiet, and less resistant. The gate to the subconscious, that deeper power within you, stands wide open. Whatever image you hold in that moment sinks deep into the fertile soil of your mind. It becomes a seed, and the subconscious, tireless and loyal, begins to make it real. That is why the 1% guard their final thoughts of the day like sacred treasure. They don't let fear or failure paint the canvas of their sleep. They choose their images carefully. They know the subconscious will build tomorrow from the blueprint of tonight. So here's how you practice it before sleep. Turn off all distractions. Dim the lights. Lay back and breathe slowly. Then, in your mind's eye, step into the future you desire. Don't just see it, feel it. See yourself living the life you've designed, strong, focused, fulfilled. Hear the sounds around you, the applause, the laughter, the peace. Feel the textures, the energy, the emotions. Let that vision become so real that it stirs your heart. Now, hold that image for a few minutes. Whisper gratitude for it as though it already belongs to you. Say silently, "This is my reality taking shape. I am living this life." Then, let go and drift into sleep, knowing that your subconscious will continue the work you've begun. This is not superstition. It is the law of belief. The world around you will always rearrange itself to match the picture you hold within. Your outer reality bends to the strength of your inner conviction. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve is simple. The achievers believe the dream long before the world does. The 1% make their vision a nightly ritual. They see it, they feel it, they believe it, and then, in time, they become it. So tonight, don't let your mind wander into doubt or distraction. Close your eyes and paint your future in colors so vivid that your subconscious cannot ignore it. Sleep inside your dream, because when you do this every night, something remarkable happens. The line between vision and reality begins to disappear. You'll wake up one morning and realize the life you once imagined before sleep is now the life you're living while awake. That is the quiet secret of the 1%. They don't chase their dreams. They see them first. And what they see, they always become. And now, my friends, as we reach the end of this message, remember this simple truth. The night belongs to the builders. The 1% don't rise by accident. They rise because, while the world sleeps to forget, they sleep to create. They use the quiet hours not for escape, but for elevation. They understand that every night is a new opportunity to reset the mind, to renew the heart, and to rewrite tomorrow before it arrives. They practice the law of the last thought, planting powerful visions before sleep. They perform the mental command ritual, giving their mind a task to fulfill overnight. They walk through gratitude as the gateway, ending every day in peace and appreciation. They engage in reflection and correction, learning from today to rise higher tomorrow. And they complete it all through the nighttime vision practice. where the future is built in the imagination long before it's lived in reality. This is how the 1% stay ahead of everyone. Not because they are luckier, not because they are smarter, but because they live with intention while others live with habit. You see, your mind is the most loyal servant you will ever have. It obeys your commands. It creates what you feed it. And when you feed it truth, power, gratitude, and vision, it cannot help but create greatness. So tonight, before you close your eyes, remember you hold the brush, you hold the canvas, you hold the vision of who you wish to become. Don't hand your nights to fear. Don't give your dreams to distraction. Let your last thought each day be a masterpiece, a vision of your highest self. Fall asleep not as a victim of circumstances, but as a creator of destiny. Let your final breath before rest carry faith, not fear. Gratitude, not resentment. Direction, not confusion. And then, as you sleep, your mind will move mountains you cannot see. It will weave the invisible threads that pull your goals into reality. The 1% understand this: the night is not for escape, it's for evolution. And you, too, can join them. You don't need wealth to begin. You don't need titles, power, or permission. All you need is awareness, the decision to use your nights differently. So when the lights go out tonight, close your eyes with purpose. Command your mind. Feed it gratitude. Reflect, correct, and see your future as though it's already done. And when the morning light returns, you'll wake not as who you were, but as who you have been becoming all along. Because greatness doesn't begin in the daylight. It begins in the dark, in the silence of your mind, in the faith of your heart, in the visions you dare to hold before you sleep. That is how the 1% stay ahead. That is how destinies are written. And that is how you transform your nights into your greatest source of power.